Alright guys, time for a little couch side chat. Let's consider this part 2.5. In the last part, we discussed the different kamae that you're going to use to defend yourself. The different body postures, stances, whatever you want to call them, I don't really care. But we'll get into those in more depth as we go. What I think is important to also cover when it comes to ninjutsu is not just the physical forms, but the philosophy behind everything. Because this is the stuff that can be applied in your daily life, on top of being able to defend yourself against someone trying to kill you. Now, let's start with this again. Let's go back to the elements that we were talking about before. With earth, water, fire, and wind. Now, each of these represent different realms, different strategies, different ideas, different concepts, different modes of being in the world, different personality types. I mean, the depth of this really is nearly endless, and you could spend your whole life just studying this alone in ninjutsu. But let's go over some basics about what we're talking about, okay? The Earth module represents this idea of confidence. Knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know, being okay with all of that. Like, I don't know how to fly a plane. I'm okay with that. Okay? Self-respect. Solidity. Meaning solid, firm, stable. Okay? You always want this. This is a good, solid plan. Somebody with an Earth personality can grind the work out no matter what. That sort of thing. Okay? So, the Earth is this solid, stable, confident, high self-esteem, self-respecting type of individual. The strategy with this in a self-defense situation, which could be verbal. Verbal situations are also self-defense situations. In a situation like this, you could be talking about holding your ground, being stable, saying this is where I stand and I'm not moving. Drawing that line in the sand, saying that's it, that's where I'm at. Let's take a look at water. Water represents being fluid, adaptable. Fluid. You can do it. Adaptable. Okay? It represents research, strategy, the mind. It represents this idea of having a plan, having a strategy, an approach, the scientific, logical mind. Okay? So the idea of this is pulling back like a wave, looking at what openings and opportunities there are, and then crashing back in. A water strategy would be gathering your information. Okay, I hear what you say. And then suddenly having something to come back with because you've found the holes in their argument. It's the same when it comes to a self-defense situation. You're pulling back to get some distance and space, and the moment they open up, you're going to crash in like a wave to that opening and take them down. Fire. This is direct. This is emotional. I mean, if you think of fire, you think of energy, you think of excitement, and this is why we move forward with this kind of emotional response or this kind of strategy. You're just going to shut it right down no matter what. As soon as they even blink wrong, you're just going to knock them in the face and run, okay? This kind of strategy can be useful in many situations. It helps against water personalities because if you overwhelm the water personality, then they, obviously shut down, that sort of thing, but we're not going to get into that too much. But we're talking about each individual aspect here, okay? So we start with a plan, a solid strategy, a commitment to that plan because Earth represents commitment, and then a direct, committed action. Fire is all about action. When we get into the wind realm, this is the realm of the warrior and warrior heart, really. This is where we add a degree of, we already have morals and values because we've got them over here. But on this level, it's the idea of self-sacrifice. And in the hero movement, you can see this because you're opening up. You're sacrificing all of your vital opportunities for them to punch you in. But when you move out of the way, there's a certain faith. There's a certain self-sacrifice. You're willing to take that punch, and in the last moment, you're able to evade it, like the wind, because of this sacrifice that you're willing to take. Okay? So it's elusive. If you think of the wind, you can't run out and grab a handful of the wind. It just doesn't work like that. And that's what this concept is like. Being elusive, being free-spirited, childlike. But it's also the highest of the realms because all of it is done from a place of non-selfishness. Okay? We also have one more spot that we need to talk about on this map, and it's right here in the center. And that would be the void. I don't have another color to represent this, so we're just going to do that. And the void isn't a place of absence. In fact, it's a place of fullness. It's the ability to function in all four of these realms so efficiently and so effectively that you could switch from one to the other based on any situation at any given time. Because that's what a ninja does. We adapt, we overcome, and we survive. We persevere in the face of anything. So, the ability to understand each of these different concepts, these different body movements, these different strategies in combat, whether it be verbal or physical in life, the way to approach your problems, the way to approach anything, basically, can be found in this. And the better you get at being able to function in all of these different realms, brings you closer to the center, and ultimately allows you to master these realms on the physical, spiritual, and mental level. See you in the next video.